The golden grain of rice. Once upon a time, in a small village by the river, there lived two sisters who had lost their parents at an early age. Their parents left them a small house and an old granary. One day, the older sister said to her younger sister, "Sister, our parents' house and the granary should be divided fairly. I'll keep the house since I'm used to trading in the village. And you can take the granary, so you'll have rice to sow and start your own life." The younger sister, gentle and kind, nodded. "Yes, sister, having rice to sow is already a blessing." So, the elder sister stayed in the cozy house in the village, while the younger one moved to a small hut by the edge of the fields, the same land their parents once worked on. When she opened the granary, she saw that most of the rice had already spoiled. Only a few golden grains remained among the dust and husks. She felt sad but remembered her mother's words. With patience and hard work, even iron can be ground into a needle. She decided to keep the few good grains and plant them. But that year, there was a drought, the earth cracked open, and not even weeds could grow. Still, every day, the young woman carried water to her little field, carefully watering each patch of soil with hope in her heart. One noon, as she rested by the field, she saw an old woman walking slowly with a stick, weary and thirsty. "Dear child, do you have some water for an old woman?" The girl quickly poured water into a bowl and handed it to her. After drinking, the old woman smiled warmly. "Thank you, my dear, I have nothing precious to repay you. Only this golden grain of rice. Plant it, but remember, it will only grow if you do it with a sincere heart." Before the girl could reply, the old woman vanished into the wind, leaving a shining golden grain in her hand. The younger sister took it home, planted it in the middle of her dry field, and tended it with great care, watering it every day, removing weeds, never skipping a day. Time passed. The grain didn't sprout. Villagers laughed at her. "That foolish girl, who waters a dead grain?" But she only smiled and said gently, "Maybe it hasn't sprouted because I haven't been patient enough." Then, one night, rain finally fell. The next morning, right in the middle of the barren field, a tall rice plant had grown, higher than any she'd ever seen. Its stalks shone, and its grains glittered like gold threads. When harvest time came, she reaped a whole sack full of golden rice. When milled, the rice gave off a sweet aroma. When cooked, it was soft, fragrant, and nourishing. Anyone who ate it became healthy and strong. Word spread throughout the land until it reached the king's ears. The king summoned the young woman to the palace. After hearing her story, he said kindly, "Our country is suffering from famine. If you are willing to share this miraculous rice with the people, I shall reward you greatly." The girl bowed and said, "Your Majesty, this blessing came from heaven and my humble effort. I offer it all for the good of our people." The king was deeply moved and rewarded her with gold, silver, and fertile land, granting her the title, the finest rice grower in the kingdom. When her elder sister heard the news, jealousy filled her heart. "That little sister of mine got rich just by giving the king a sack of rice? If I offer my whole granary, I'll surely be rewarded 10 times more." So the elder sister brought her old, moldy rice to the palace, claiming it was precious golden rice. But when the king ordered the rice to be tested, it smelled foul and could not sprout. Furious, the king confiscated her property and banished her from the city for lying. Ashamed and penniless, the elder sister returned home. The younger sister, gentle as ever, forgave her and shared her rice and land so they could start over together. From that day on, the two sisters worked side by side in the fields, living in harmony and kindness. The once barren land turned into golden fields of rice, and their laughter echoed across the valley under the warm sun.